Welcome to You're Cordially Invited, the show that brings you candid and informal interviews with some of the best wedding professionals in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We hope that you enjoy the show, and at the end, we hope that we have inspired you to take these individuals along on your next social affair. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to You're Cordially Invited. I am your host, Tara Melvin, and today we're going to talk to one of the area's best pastry chefs in the Washington, D.C. metro area. She has what every adult wants, what every kid wants at any type of event. So today I welcome pastry chef and owner of the Cake Courtesan. Hello, Sharon. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, Tara. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good, good. So what we have in front of us here today is a very intriguing and very delectable assortment of cakes and desserts that your shop provides. But before we get into that, kind of tell me about yourself and your background and how did you become a pastry chef?
Well, I started like most people start out in the pastry world. We just have a love of sweets and just wanted something that was different. When we grew up, my mother loved to cook. She was from a very large family and no one really baked in the family. So I had my little easy bake oven like everybody else. Yeah. And I started out with that and just continued to love to bake and try and always experiment and push the envelope. And then as I got older, I got into government contracting in this area, but I've always paid attention to doing wedding cakes and all the kind of events. And finally, I just decided to go for it and pursue my passion and opened up the Cake Courtesan.
Okay. And the Cake Courtesan, kind of tell us how you came to that name of your establishment.
Well, the Cake Courtesan was just wanting something different. I always love to push the envelope. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be
the sweet shop,
right? or you know, baby cakes or something cutesy like that, the pink box and things like that. So when I was thinking of names, I more importantly wanted something that no one else had. And I know no one else would really want, but something that represented a little bit of a luxury name, a little bit of a luxurious brand. Okay. And so we started tossing around French names, and that's how we came up with Courtesan. Okay. And most people who walk into my store, they said, "Do you know what Courtesan is?" And I said, "Yes, we do, but we know that she's a lover of all things luxurious." Men shower her with jewels and riches and cars and houses, and so we wanted to be the luxury people of sugar.
Okay. And speaking of luxury, kind of tell us the type of clientele that comes to your establishment.
Most people who want a Cake Courtesan cake understand that they're going to get something different. We ensure that the taste on the outside matches the look on the taste on the inside matches the look on the outside.
That's so important.
That is very important. We tell our customers we don't do dry. We bake everything from scratch, including all of our fillings. Okay. Our buttercream, we use a pure buttercream, no shortening, no preservatives, nothing like that. We want to make sure that when people come to us, they understand that the most important thing that they're getting is a quality taste. And then on the outside, we match that with a quality look. We do specialize in fondant. We do a lot of buttercream designs as well, but we specialize in primarily doing fondant. And then pushing the envelope. We play a lot with sizes and shapes. We don't do the traditional stack, round, square. Yeah, we push the envelope. We're playing with the shapes, proportions, height. Just try and do things that are not just the everyday and the ordinary. We figure there's enough of that.
You kind of hit on something here as far as like the fondant. I've heard out there in the industry, so there's the fondant, there's the buttercream, there's the marzipan. What's the difference in how would a bride know what to choose to have their cake made out of?
Well, we tell brides that with fondant, with buttercream, you're limited. You're limited in design. Some people would like to try and push doing some designs in fondant and in buttercream that they can easily achieve in fondant, but it really doesn't come out that well. You can't get lines straight in buttercream, no matter how great you are. You don't tend to get straight lines, but in fondant, you can use tools that can give you something that can give you meticulously clean, straight lines. Okay. Fondant, you could treat it like fabric. You can't do that with buttercream. The most you can do is just pipe on it. And we tend to tell brides, especially in this area in August, it's hot. It's 116 degrees on average, the humidity. We tend to stay away from buttercream only cakes because, again, our cakes are butter based. Our buttercream is butter based. It's not heat tolerant. So at 85, 90 degrees, your cakes start to melt.
So is that something that you inform the bride about as far as the temperature and where it's going to be, or is that something that the bride should be aware of?
We try to make sure that our brides are knowledgeable about the choices that they make, about having an outside venue, about what it would mean for as far as bugs, which is real. Sweetness and sugar and flies, yeah, they work really well together. And with the heat, again, fondant tends to hold up a lot better in heat.
Okay, all right. And then as far as like displaying it in windows, I had a client one time that wanted to display her cake inside of a window, and I was just like, oh, that's not gonna work.
Sunshine, it can be just as hot outside, and that sun beaming through, the temperature rises because of the glass. And again, when the sun beaming on the cake for hours on end, it will melt.
Okay. Now kind of take us through the process as far as when a client walks into your shop, she's looking for that cake that's going to make her stand out at her wedding. What is the process that she goes through from walking into your shop till wedding day?
Well, we ask the brides that confer with us to bring a packet of information about them. We want to incorporate them in the cake, so we don't have a pick by numbers, pick by price approach. Okay. Every cake that we make is custom for that bride and groom. So we would spend a good half an hour just asking questions. How did you meet? What do you like to do for fun? How did he propose? What did where are you going on your honeymoon? And try and find some whimsical elements. Also, we always like to incorporate a touch of whimsy into the cake anywhere that we can, even some subtle details. Okay. And but most importantly, we make sure that we are representing the bride and groom in some way in their cake that makes it unique to them. Okay. And then we'll go over the details, send out a contract, because the drawings that we do, when we do provide drawings after the consultation, are proprietary to us. We create it for them. We don't send out the drawings to the bride and groom until after they book with us. Okay. Then we'll give them a color rendering of their cake. And then we'll confer with them and their planner and florist and their anybody else who's involved in the wedding, that make sure that we're not operating in a silo. We want to make sure that everyone's aware of what we're going to do, where we're going to be, what time we need to be there. Because we want the cake to not just be something that's set on the table. We like to have it as part of the event. With our cakes, you can see we try and make sure they're showstoppers. So we want to make sure that everyone who participates in it can see the cake as being a showstopper of the reception.
Okay. And then as far as, are you seeing the trend now? Because I see you have a lovely display here of cake pops and other pastry items. Are you seeing brides kind of more deviating away from the wedding cake to something like this, or it's kind of a toss-up?
Well, wedding cakes, I think, go through cycles. And as the designs are becoming more elaborate, some of the prices for some of the brides are a little bit out of reach. And we do have some brides that come into us and say, we just don't like cake. And so then we would offer them a dessert buffet. So those are becoming very popular, where we offer a larger range of items like meringue kisses, the cake pops, the mini cupcakes, cookie towers, marshmallows. We have different variety of products that we can arrange on the table for them so that their guests can have a more full dessert experience. Now with these, they still end up getting a cake because they still want to have something to cut and showcase. But the rest of the guests get something that they can enjoy and not just have to deal with just one wedding cake.
Okay. And then do you think gone are the days of saving that top tier and freezing it and having it 1 year later?
Surprisingly enough, the grooms more into that tradition.
Oh, really?
Really, it's for some reason the grooms are the ones that are saying, "Oh, let's save the top tier." You would think that the brides would be that way. The brides are usually saying, "No, no, 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 no. I don't want to move it around. I don't want it in my refrigerator." The grooms are the ones that are saying, "Let's save it."
Okay.
So it's still a toss-up.
And what makes the Cake Courtesan different from any other pastry firm that's out there?
Well, number one is definitely our flavor profiles. One of our most popular flavors is called a lemon berry. And we use a lemon pound cake with lemon cloud cream and lemon curd and fresh raspberries. So again, we try and push the envelope. We won't, we try not to do just the standard chocolate, vanilla. We know that there's people out there that like it, but we're saying, hey, how about a marble cake with a chocolate toffee, and then added a little bit of Godiva chocolate to it and some ganache or something to really push the envelope a little bit so that it becomes a full-bodied flavor experience, not just a slice of cake.
Since you're a custom cake person, do you know how many flavors you do have, or do you experiment all the time that you've lost count?
We experiment all the time, and we are also a retail cupcake shop, so we're pushing the envelope with flavors. We have people that come to us that would like to try something different. Mango is becoming one of those. Mango and guava are becoming more popular this summer, so we've been pushing the envelope a little bit with that, trying some different flavor profiles. But we like to try and let brides know that we can do whatever you want. Don't be afraid to ask for something different. And when you look for a cake person, you want to see how, you don't need to taste everything. You need to get an idea of the potential of what they can do. If their cakes are moist, you try 3 cakes, they're moist, then mostly all the other cakes will be moist. So
it's basically just coming down to the flavor that you want within your cake.
Get an idea. When you want to make sure that the cake person can do what they say they're going to do and present the flavor in the combination that they say they're going to present it, and then let them do what they do best.
Okay. And do you feel that you're a pastry chef, but do you also feel as if you're an artist also?
I think there's a lot of artistry involved in doing cake. You have to know when to push the colors, when to push the style, and when to hold back. Not to overdo it, and just find that perfect balance of that combination of knowing, stepping back and you say, okay, this cake is done. I don't need another single thing on it. It's done. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I have to step back. Sometimes I have to ask people, did I go too far? Did I not take it far enough? But yeah, it's definitely an artistry to it as well.
And then as far as the setup, do you provide any other elements for the cake, as far as like cake stands or any other decor that goes around the wedding cake?
We have multiple stands available for rent.
Okay.
And when we do a dessert buffet, we have a full dessert buffet option where we can do everything. They just come in, they put the flavors that they want. We create the labels, we set up the table, we give them all the linen, we give them all of the rental items, and we do the complete setup for them. So we have a full range dessert buffet option that we can offer.
And when your clients taste your delectable treats here, what is it that you're wanting them to experience after leaving your shop?
Just understanding that they don't have to settle for ordinary. When there's definitely a difference between an artisan cake store and a grocery store. So know that you are going to pay more, but there's a reason for that. And then beyond that, there's levels. There's levels of flavors. There's levels of taste. There's level of just your overall experience. We've had some people that come into our store that have done a cake tasting with us, and we try to go the extra mile because we know we're not the cheapest guys in town. So we will present you with tea and coffee and china and everything. We've had people that say to us, "Oh, we're going for a cake tasting," and they give us a cake with a plastic plate and a paper fork. And a paper plate and a plastic fork. And so then you kind of say, okay, well, you know that the experience is not going to be there. So how do you feel that they're going to follow through and treat you throughout the entire time, all the way up until your wedding day and then after? So we try and make sure that our bride and grooms understand that it starts from when you first look at the picture, and then when you taste it, doing the tasting, you design it, you see the picture of your cake, what it would look like, and then you see it on your wedding day, and then you taste it, and then go on from there.
Complete follow through.
Complete follow through.
Okay. And how far in advance would a client need to book with you, especially if they're wanting an elaborate wedding cake such as these?
Usually 6 months in advance is usually recommended. That can give us enough time to prepare. We do all of our sugar flour work is hand done. So if someone has elaborate sugar flowers, we need to make sure that we have enough time to do that. If there's some special items that we need to order for the cakes, we need to make sure we have time for that as well.
Okay, all right. Wonderful. Well, how can brides out there or even other wedding professionals out there that are looking for someone like you, how can they find you?
Well, we do have a studio located in Bowie,
Okay.
Which is right by Bowie State University.
Okay.
It's at 6926 Laurel Bowie Road.
Okay.
We're open from Tuesday to Saturdays from 11 to 7.
Okay.
And we also have a website that has all of our information on it at www.thecakecourtesan.com.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the Cake Courtesan in Bowie, Maryland. Miss Sharon White, the owner and pastry chef of the Cake Courtesan. So if you're ever in need of a wedding cake that's going to set your wedding apart from anyone else, please contact Sharon. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends our segment today. Thank you, and we hope that you come back to You're Cordially Invited.